Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Crime Country. As always, I am your host, Nick Barksdale, and today we are joined by a phenomenal guest, and that is Dr. Michael Aamodt, the creator and the mind behind the serial killer database at Radford University. And so, without further ado, Dr. Aamodt, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, happy to do it.
Dr. Aamodt, when it comes to serial killers, what are their motivations? What drives them to do what they do?
There are several different motivations. If you look kind of in terms of maybe a broad motivation, the most common that we see would be, and this term seems too simplistic, but it's enjoyment. They enjoy killing. But that's followed pretty closely by people who kill for financial gain. And when we talked a little bit earlier about definitions, there are some researchers that won't include as serial killers people who kill for financial gain. But again, they do meet that definition. And then probably the third most common is going to be people who kill out of anger. It might be anger about a particular person, or it could be anger about a particular type of person. For example, if you think about race-related killings, those would be ones that are anger, but it's anger toward a race as opposed to a particular person. And then you get some people, by the way, that then within those broad categories, you can have all sorts of subcategories that are kind of interesting. So, for example, with financial gain, there's a subtype that you don't see anymore, but it was very common back in the 1800s and early 1900s, and that was something called a baby farmer. So these were people that would take in babies from unwed women. The unwed woman would pay them money to take the baby, and as soon as the mother would leave, they'd kill the baby. So as you start to really break them down into these subtypes, you get some really interesting folks.
Absolutely. And I mean, honestly, when you think about it, if they were to eliminate financial gain as a qualification for serial murder, for example, do you think that would eliminate probably most Black widows?
It would eliminate probably almost all of them. Absolutely.
Wow, that's really interesting. And yeah, baby farmers is a horrifying and fascinating topic all on its own. I've been planning on doing an episode on early farms like that, especially in the early modern period, because it's awful, but it's also kind of crazy that some of them were able to last so long, if that makes sense, before people finally got aware of it, or how many people knew about it and they just chose to ignore it.
Well, you think back during that time, there was really no technology, right? So in terms of communication, it's not like somebody would email or pick up the phone and call and see how their child is doing. You moved along and there's no way to communicate.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining me on Crime Country as we went over the serial killer database, statistics, and so much more involving the true crime subjects that we are all fascinated and oftentimes terrified by. To all of my subscribers, don't forget to check out the links in the video description below. It'll take you to the database, serial killer statistics, and all of the awesome work that Dr. Aamodt is doing. Dr. Aamodt, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.